One of the jobs that I've had often in my life is the cashier at a gas station. Now, what would happen is that every now and then, actually quite frequently, somebody would come in saying that the price of oil went down. So therefore, the price of gas is going to come down, right? Or somebody would come in and say, I just heard that the cost of oil went up. So I'm going to fill up now before the cost of gas goes up. But in all my experience of working at a gas station, I noticed that there's actually very little correlation between the cost of a barrel of oil and the cost of gas to fill up your car. Now, why exactly is that? Gas prices and oil prices are a little bit different. But the U.S. Energy Information Administration reported last year that American consumers spent, on average, just under 4% of their pre-tax income on gasoline in 2012, nearly $3,000 per household. In the previous 30 years, this percentage was this high only once before, in 2008. When economists study this, how fluctuations in the price of oil affect fluctuations in the price of gas, this is called a pass-through, and the current conventional wisdom is that these two prices are not symmetrical. The speed at which gas prices change differs depending on whether the price of gasoline is relatively high or relatively low compared with the price of oil. Both casual and industrial observers say that gas prices adjust to changes in oil prices faster when gasoline prices are relatively low compared with oil than when gasoline prices are relatively high compared with oil. This uneven pass-through can be seen when oil prices rise after being steady for some time. Gasoline prices shoot up quickly. In contrast, when oil prices fall after being steady for some time, gasoline prices retreat slowly. In the gasoline industry, this is known as rockets and feathers. Long story short, basically the difference arises due to several factors. One of the main ones being that oil per barrel is being sold to a different market than consumer gasoline. Basically, there aren't really that many people who buy barrel by the oil. These are very few, very large players in the global sphere. Compare that with gasoline, where it's actually billions of smaller people making smaller purchases of gasoline. So basically, you're essentially going to two different markets. Now, the other difference is it also depends on where it's being sold. Some areas of some countries purchase more oil because they drive more. Other places, differences in weather can also make a difference. So times of year and the amount of gasoline that's actually consumed has tremendous effects right on the gasoline price, which is why you can literally go from one city where it's one price and go to another city where it's like 3 cents cheaper. That also explains why this happens. Essentially, it comes down to crude oil and consumer gasoline being subject to two different but interrelated markets. Essentially, this happens because gasoline is a use value that's produced specifically for exchange value, meaning we only produce it because of what money we can get in exchange for it. In other words, a market. And that's why the price fluctuates so much from area to area. Not because the actual use value, because that actually remains the same. However, it is what it gets in exchange that varies from area to area, depending on its use via the market. And this is just one of those really weird things where in capitalism we have to constantly adjust our operating budget or our household budget simply because something is produced for its exchange and not its use. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.